back to an episode of Garman's Gardeners. I'm your host, Stephen Jones, and today we're going to talk about the future technology in agriculture. Today in Garman's Gardeners, we will be discussing sensors and other technologies, GPS farming, drone activities, safety, and cow manure. First on the list is Mr. Richard Chiquet. I'd like to introduce him to an episode of Gardeners Gardeners. Richard, come join us this morning.
Sure.
So Richard, we're talking today about future tech in agriculture gardening. I'd like to explain a little bit about sensoring and everything. And what would you like to talk about today?
Yes. This new technology that's currently in development is another form of sensoring technology called smart spraying.
Wow, smart spraying.
Yeah. So, what it is it's a form of sensoring technology that helps agricultural workers detect the growth of weeds.
Okay.
So, it also...
Yeah, I see you got a little bit of information right here. So basically we're detecting weed growth and
Yeah.
everything. Okay, sweet. So we've got equipment now that can detect weeds. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. I mean, who would have thought of that 30 years ago?
I know.
All right. Anyways, so with the technology skyrocketing today, according to researchers and technical, I guess, researchers saying that smart farming consists of crop production with the aid of electronic equipment. Wow. Okay. So according to these sensors, they can detect weeds, as Richard was saying. Not only that, but they can also detect, viruses and pesticides on these plants. So for example, the low light sensor. The low light sensor has the ability to detect those viruses and those pesticides or pests that are invading the plants. And what it does is it takes that information and just collects all this data together and then sends it off to the farmer. So the farmer comes out, and treats the plants. Pretty cool. I mean, would you think it's pretty cool?
Oh, yes. Definitely.
Technology. Thank you. Good. Up next for our subject today, we have Nick Rowland.
Hello, I'm Kevin McBride.
And we're going to talk about GPS farming and drones. So, Nick, tell us a little bit about GPS farming.
So GPS farming is a fairly recent invention and a growing technology in the farming industry. And basically, nowadays, tractors are equipped with a GPS unit that can tell them seed depth, width, and row width apart. And if you plant a different type of crop in the same field on a different type of in a different part of the year, which most farmers do, then instead of changing your entire equipment out, you can change everything you need to with the touch of a button in the cab.
That's cool. I mean, I'm just wow. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. Also, GPS technologies are used for topographically mapping the field, so you can fill in low areas, add drain tiles to prevent erosion, and if you use drones, such as Kevin over here, they can be programmed to fertilize and spray pesticides exactly where you need them without any overspray or cause to any other farming equipment.
Speaking of drones, Kevin, would you talk to us about drones? Because that's just really cool.
Yes, Steve, we're all familiar with typical farm equipment like tractors and stuff like that. With the advance of technology, now they're using unmanned drones to do many things in farming.
Didn't I just see you run those over one of the students' heads out in the lobby earlier?
That was not me at all.
Okay.
And although These have been used many years in Japan and stuff like that. 1/3 of all rice grown in there is the pesticides are shot with this thing, although it's new in the United States.
Did you say? Did you say that was? Did you say that was the Japanese use that for their crops?
Yes,
And all
at least 1/3 of the crops I use pesticides to spray them with that. And
that? I bet it's made in China. Anyways,
Probably is.
but that's really cool. I mean, so basically, with the aid of GPS farming and drone technology, the two can come together and pretty much do what the farmer does on a daily basis. So he can just sit back and sip his Joe.
well, Steve, this is not an actual agricultural drone. Those range in price from $1,500 to over 25,000, which they sort of look like this. This,
It does that too in real life. So
yes.
yeah.
They can manage and assess crops, livestock, survey maps, spray crops, monitor for diseases, and much more. Drones are used for crops assessment. They have sensors on to measure the wavelength of light, and plants are reflected and generate contrast images to show problem areas in farms.
Dude.
You can keep track of your livestock also. It's no longer getting your pickup truck and drive to the back 40 to see how your cows are doing. Send up a drone when you're drinking coffee there and hover over it and see where they are. They can also detect wildlife that are eating them, such as wolves and stuff like that. They also can monitor for diseases and high-flying pathogens that are in the air well before they land on the ground and kill crops.
Just like the sensors we talked about. Man, I love the correlation.
And they're also developing for dumping pollen on like apple orchards and all fruit orchards that they're 50% more effective than bees. So they've really come an advancement. Goldman Sachs predicts the agricultural sector will be the largest user of drones in the United States and the second in the world in the next 5 years. Here at Northeast State, we even have an aviation program that offers drone classes.
They do. You
Yes,
are
they
right.
do.
And if you're interested in that, please seek Mr. Richard Blevins. All right. Well, I mean, this is pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
by the way, it is made in China. I've seen it. Once again, I have Kevin McBride and Nick Rowland. Thank you guys for participating today on today's show. And hopefully our viewers will have a little bit more information, may have a little bit of advice for future farmers. Next on the show today, I have Miss Cindy Tipton here, and she's going to talk about safety advances in technology and safety equipment. Hi, Cindy. How are you doing? But first off, I have to ask, were you pestered by a drone earlier?
I prefer if we stayed on topic.
All right, moving on. So, go ahead and tell us a little bit about safety and the advances in safety.
Well, for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to talk about safety in tractors, just for a good example,
Right.
because they're pretty common.
Yeah.
So they have, like, guards on the blades,
Mm-hmm.
like rollover protection structures, flashing lights, and all sorts of stuff to make them as safe as possible to use.
Okay. So would you think that there would be like something on the tractor itself, like say for example, a farmer was an idiot and didn't buckle up? Would there be a way like it does with cars nowadays, like it beeps like crazy? I don't know, those annoying beeps like Toyotas, or would it stay still and not drive until the seatbelt's buckled up? I mean, what do you think? You think that'll come out with that?
I feel like they could add that.
I mean,
I
they
mean,
put it in
always-
cars now. Why wouldn't they?
Need to find ways to stay safer because people are idiots.
I like how she thinks, guys. So, I mean, basically, what you're saying is that, the safety belts, the mechanism of the blades, there's a way that they can disengage the blades unless the farmer's hooked up and has hooked the seatbelt in or safe, for example.
Yes.
Okay. That's actually pretty cool because, I mean, who wants to get their leg cut off? I don't think anybody does. And farmers, they're out here providing for everybody. I I mean, don't you think they need to be in tip-top shape and have their limbs together? I'm just saying. All right. Well, thank you, Sydney. We appreciate your research, and thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
And finally on our show today, we have Mr. Ray Copeland here. He's going to talk about manure? Manure? Ray?
Yep, that's
Well,
right.
kick us off with manure, sir.
Well, Steve, to be honest, everything you said can pretty much play. We covered on today's topic about agriculture, and that's it. That's all there is.
Well, there you have it, folks. Just so you know, that technology can still play with. Thank you for joining us today on Garman's Gardeners. I hope you find this video very effective. Please hit that subscribe button down on the bottom if you really enjoy the show. And as always, have a great day.